Good day. We're going to start chapter 2. There is a solution. We of Alcoholics Anonymous know thousands of men and women who were once just as hopeless as Bill. Nearly all have recovered. Again, we use that word recovered past tense. They have solved the drink problem. We are average Americans, all sections of this country, and many of its occupations are represented, as well as many political, economic, social, and religious backgrounds. We are people who normally would not mix. That's fellowship and common problem. So the reason why we wouldn't mix is, some of us are judges, some of us are criminals, some of us are ex-cons, some of us are, participate in the mosque or in Catholicism. None of that matters. We're there because of the common problem of addiction. But there exists among us a fellowship, a friendliness, and an understanding which is indescribably wonderful. We are like the passengers of a great liner the moment after rescue from shipwreck, when camaraderie, joyousness, and democracy pervade the vessel from steerage to captain's table. Unlike the feelings of the ship's passengers, however, our joy escape from disaster does not subside as we go our individual ways. The feeling of having shared in a common peril is one element in the powerful cement which binds us, but that in itself would never have held us together as we are now joined. The fellowship is designed for us to do the steps. We meet in the meetings to share about how we utilize the steps and these principles that we talked about in Bill's story in our daily affairs, so that we don't have to go back and drink or go back and use alcohol. That's the whole purpose of the meeting, is to basically give us the basics of what it is to be a functioning person again, and go on your business from there. Basically, the tremendous fact for every one of us is that we have discovered a common solution. We have a way out on which we can absolutely agree, and upon which we can join in brotherly and harmonious action. This is the great news this book carries to those who suffer from alcoholism. An illness of this sort, and we have come to believe it an illness, involves those about us in a way no other human sickness can. If a person has cancer, all are sorry for him, and no one is angry or hurt. But not so with the alcoholic illness, for with it there goes annihilation of all things worthwhile in life. It engulfs all whose lives touch the sufferers. It brings misunderstanding, fierce resentment, financial insecurity, disgusted friends and employers, warped lives of blameless children, sad wives, and parents. Anyone can increase the list. We hope this volume will inform and comfort those who are or who may be affected. There are many highly competent psychiatrists who have dealt with us, have found it sometimes impossible to persuade an alcoholic to discuss the situations without reserve. Strangely enough, wives, parents, and intimate friends usually find us even more unapproachable than do the psychiatrist and the doctor. But the ex-problem drinker who has found his solution, who is properly armed with facts about himself, can generally win the entire confidence of another alcoholic in a few hours. Until such an understanding is reached, little or nothing can be accomplished. The man who is making the approach has had the same difficulty that is obviously known what he is talking about. And this whole deportment shouts at the new prospect that he is a man with a real answer. So right away, they're talking about service work and the fact that only one alcoholic can help another alcoholic, or one addict can help another addict, because we know what it is to taste, smell, and see when we're high. Regular people don't really understand that. They don't understand the involuntary action that comes from our using. They just don't get it. that he has no attitude of holier than thou, nothing whatever except the sincere desire to be helpful. That there are no fees to pay, no axes to grind, no people to please, no lectures to be endured. These are the conditions we have found most effective. After such an approach, many take up their beds and walk again. None of us make a sole vocation of this work, nor do we think its effectiveness would be increased if we did. We feel that elimination of our drinking is but a beginning. So my life began when I stopped drinking and I stopped using drugs. Before that, my life was filled with a bunch of experiences that were always in a place of uncontrol. There was no control. And today, as much as I participate in fellowships, do these big book studies, do steps with folks, it's not, I mean, I have other jobs. I have many, many other things that I do in my life besides concentrating all of my focus on sobriety. In the beginning, it was like that. I had to concentrate quite a bit on sobriety, and some days the only goal that was apparent was I needed to get to a meeting. Didn't matter about work, didn't matter about anything, but just getting to a meeting around people who could help me implement these principles in my life, because things were just unraveling. And I was desperate. I was desperate for a change. A much more important demonstration of our principles lies before us in our respective homes, occupations, and affairs. All of us spend much of our spare time in the sort of effort which we are going to describe. A few are fortunate enough to be so situated that they can give nearly all their time to the work. If we keep on the way we are going, there is little doubt that much good will result, but the surface of the problem would hardly be scratched. Those of us who live in large cities are overcome by the reflections that close to 100 are dropping into oblivion every day. Many could recover if they had the opportunity we have enjoyed. How then shall we present that which has been so freely given us? We have concluded to publish an anonymous volume setting forth the problem as we see it. We shall bring to ask our combined experience and knowledge. This should suggest the useful program for any one concerned with a drinking or addiction problem. So, why am I doing these? It's really to be helpful in an anonymous way. Nobody knows that you're watching this. I don't know you're watching this. And neither does your family have to know you're watching this. Nor do they have to know that you're going to a meeting. I'm really doing this for you to be helpful. There are so many people struggling out there, and the solution actually is a lot easier than you think it is. We get wrapped up in our heads, and usually it's a catastrophe that needs to happen in order for us to even think that there's a solution outside of what we think is the best solution. The reality is I had no good ideas until I got sober, because my best intentions always resulted in using and drinking. Always and always will, when I'm by myself and not working a program of recovery. You should go to treatment if you can, but not everybody has to go to treatment. Sometimes you can just go to a meeting and get involved and you can get sober. Treatment is great for therapy and traumas, but we can also be effective for traumas in this program. This is a daily thing that somebody can have. Usually the counselors don't answer their phone at midnight, but I promise you somebody from AA will. Somebody from Cocaine Anonymous will. Somebody from NA will. somebody from CMA will. Somebody from an A program will pick that phone up at midnight if you keep calling it. The hardest thing to do sometimes is to call. But once you get past that, the person who's picking up is delighted to be of service to you. Remember that. We need you as much as you need us. With that, I hope you have a sober day, and I hope you fill up that room this afternoon. There is going to be a nooner at noon in your city, town, somewhere. There will be a meeting today. Hope you get to it.